So I started emailing him, and he started emailing me back. I said, I can't get your books, you're not responding, I'm going to cancel this order and go with somebody else. And he started emailing, I'm sorry, you know, Mr. Shackelford. And finally, I got an email from him. We had an alert that would send it right to my cell phone. And it didn't matter, I was sitting in my office when he responded. He was eating breakfast in a Panera cafe, and he logged in from Panera. And I got the IP address, and it was a traceable IP address. And I didn't have anybody in the area, so I couldn't really do tag you're it, and he was 1,000 miles away in Florida. I was in New York. So I got the phone number of Panera. I said, this is an investigator, it's urgent, get me the store manager. This is an honest-to-God true story. I've got an MP3 file of the call, and it's going up on the website. You can, everything I'm telling you about will be proven. So I said, sir, my name is Steve Rambam. I'm an investigator. All true, I didn't lie. I urgently need to reach a guy who's in your store. He's about 250 pounds. He's bald. His name is Rick Dakin. He said, well, we know Rick. He's a local author. I said, look, you've got to get him to the phone. So I hear the manager going, Rick Dakin to the manager's line. And you'll be able to hear this. And Rick goes, yeah, hello. And I said, Rick, you're busted. That's number one. Okay, number two, cell phone triangulation. Except for this one, I had my friend Harry Goldstein, who's an investigator, in the area. We knew he was somewhere in Sarasota, Bradenton. We didn't know where. We were able to trace his car to a parking lot. At 10 o'clock at night, by the way, in a mini mall, and we knew there were only one of 3 stores open. So I said, Harry, go to this particular mini mall. And his car is really easy to spot, by the way. First of all, we knew the license plate. And second of all, it's got a big Geek Mafia sticker on the back. So Harry says, yeah, it's parked in front of this bar. What was it called? Jake's place. Shakespeare's, right. Parked in front of Shakespeare's. And I said, okay, tell me what's parked next to it. He says, okay, there's a red Ferrari next to it and this and that. So I called up Rick on his cell phone, which was fair. Oh, I called the bartender on that one. That's right. Called the bartender. He was sitting at the bar. The guy says, yeah, I know Rick. Hands him the phone. And I said, Rick, Steve, you're busted. He said, how'd you get me? I said, you know, satellite. By the way, your car's parked next to a red car. He said, how the hell do you know that? I said, busted. I go. Yeah. Then we. Then we did a credit card trace to an airline ticket. We found one of his credit cards that he purchased because we had gotten a frequent flyer number. And the frequent flyer, by the way, was inactive. So I went onto their website as Rick Dakin and reactivated it so I would know exactly what flights he was taking, what seat he was in and everything. And my little cousin was getting bar mitzvahed in Los Angeles, and I saw that he was flying through Los Angeles. 6 o'clock in the morning, he goes to check in. I walk up to him, I say, hey, Rick, how you doing? At LAX. I'm wearing a Brooklyn Dodgers sweatshirt. I put my arm around him, and a guy takes our picture. His face, you know the MasterCard, what, priceless? Match.com. Okay, this is the one where I thought Rick was actually going to, I mean, he's a big guy, and he takes martial arts. I used to box, but I'm getting old. Fortunately, Kung Fu Panda calmed down, and he didn't kick my ass, but I'll tell you what happened. I got this really attractive PI from Arizona, Michelle Stewart, real nice looking girl, who's a good friend of mine. Look, Rick's a single guy, computer literate. You know he's got a Match.com listing or something. So we did the proximity search, and we found his listing. No name. Just like, you know, horny author or something. I forget what it said. But we found it. And we set up a phony profile for Michelle. And we got her a drop cell phone and an identity and everything. We set it up like it was a CIA. Believe me, better than that Italian CIA operation. And we had her start corresponding with Rick. And just the hilarious profile. I used to be a cheerleader, now I'm a nurse, I'm moving to Florida, I'm going there to check out jobs, I'm just getting divorced, I haven't dated in years. Guys love hearing that, by the way. You know, I'd love to meet you while I'm there. And Rick is like, yeah, sure. So they set up a meeting, and we thought it was going too easily. We thought, oh man, Rick is a smart guy, he's really seeing through this one. So we set it up where we started calling his cell phone, and we busied out his cell phone so she could call, and he would hear a real voice. She could call with this really sexy, naughty voice and say, I'm on my way to the cafe, whatever it was, and just in case you don't recognize me, I'm wearing cut-off shorts and a white tank top, and I'll be there like 10, 15 minutes late, wait for me. Let me just say that